Debbie Macomber remembers asking the Lord if she could just publish one book, and he answered Debbie's prayer, not only publishing one, but over 150 novels. But success has not come easy. Debbie had to overcome a long life of rejections and, hard to believe, a diagnosis of dyslexia. But here's how she did it.
I can remember just praying, oh Lord, just let me publish one book, just one book.
It's been almost 50 years since best-selling author Debbie Macomber uttered that prayer. Over 150 books later, millions have turned to her work for stories of love, loss, and hope.
I was making up stories when I was 4 years old. You know, this is the gift God gave me. He gave me this creative imagination.
Even then, it was unlikely this bright girl from Yakima, Washington, would ever become a best-selling author. Debbie was dyslexic.
The third grade teacher told my mother, Debbie's a nice little girl, but she's never going to do well. I struggled so hard in school, and I had few friends.
But a trip with her mother to the yarn store and a knitting class turned her life around.
In learning to knit, I learned comprehension skills, math skills. It gave me such a badly needed feeling of accomplishment and self-esteem.
It would do more than boost her confidence. Those skills would help Debbie overcome her dyslexia. And by 5th grade, she was reading as well as anyone her age.
And I started my first book just about the time I learned to read. I've always loved story. And you know, that's what Jesus did. He taught in stories. And he's given me this gift, and I have used it to tell stories that hope of reaching others for him in a subtle and gentle way.
Married at 19 to Wayne, Debbie raised 4 children while trying to fit in as much writing as possible. After years of rejection letters, Debbie picked up freelance magazine work, but she never left her dream of being a published novelist.
When you want something so badly, you have to be willing to face rejection.
Finally, in 1982, 33-year-old Debbie had her first book published, Heart Song.
So for a long time, I felt like I was taking something away from our family, but in retrospect, I was teaching our children some of the most valuable lessons of their lives. About the power of a dream, about believing in yourself, about standing up against rejection. Those are all really powerful lessons that they all learned.
Since then, 13 of Debbie's novels have reached #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, and 6 were made into hit movies on the Hallmark Channel, including the ever-popular Cedar Cove series.
First of all, the story has to be relevant to my reader. It has to be provocative because I want the reader to think. It has to be told in the most realistic way I can think to tell it, and that includes conflict. And it has to be done creatively, and it has to be entertaining. I'm not here to teach anybody anything. I ask God to give me the ideas. Every single book has been prayed over.
For inspiration, Debbie often pulls from her real-life experiences when developing story ideas.
Every aspect of my life has been explored in one way or another. I mean, when the kids were little, it was all about raising kids. And, now that I'm a mature adult, it's harder for me to write about a 25-year-old falling in love. It's more about relationships and things about real life, like losing your family or starting over again.
She believes it's those relatable stories of love, loss, and hope that have earned her so many loyal fans.
The only way I can think to explain it is like a spiritual connection, because I know if I laugh when I'm writing a scene, the reader will laugh. If I cry, they'll cry. If I lay my heart out on the page, it links with theirs. And they feel like, the many letters I get, they feel like they know me, and they do because they have read my words.
The success and accolades aside, Debbie hopes her words will lead others to another bestseller.
One of the best letters I ever got from a reader is said, I started reading your books and now I'm reading my Bible.
At 70 years old, she's in no hurry to retire. In fact, she just released another novel, Window on the Bay, And another is right behind it, a Mrs. Miracle Christmas.
And I've tried to slow down. The hardest part for me in my life right now is balance. I just want to write. You know, if I don't write, I get cranky.
And with God's help, write she will.
I'm happiest when I'm writing. I mean, I really love what I do. You know, there's that verse in Scripture in Ephesians that said, God will do above and beyond anything you can think or imagine. I'm just leaving it up to Him.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, what a sweet lady.
I love her.
I do too.
And
My
it's just so amazing. Here she is when she was younger, asking the Lord this innocent prayer, but it was a dream in her heart to just publish one book. And now she's on the New York Times bestseller list and just
writer.
prolific writer, author,
Yes.
all the things. And I've been reminded lately, and this is just a reminder for me again, to dream.
Dream big.
Dream big.
Yes,
and God knows the desires in our
does.
heart
He
and
does.
the dreams in our hearts as well, because He put them there. And just go to Him with our dreams.
And to take her from being dyslexic to everything that God's doing, that's just a miracle from God.
It truly, truly is.
Wow.
Debbie, we are your biggest fans.
Sure
And we
you
love you and
are.
continue to write
Keep writing,
and do
girl.
amazing things for God.
Yes.